Are you hungry? It's time for dinner. Hello everyone and welcome to Carousel of Douglas. Today we're in my kitchen. I know it's a little different, but we're going to be making Cheeseburger Spring Rolls. My own recipe that I did to mimic the ones at Disney World. Come join us. Alright, so here's everything you're going to need for your recipe. You have ground beef, kosher salt, black pepper, 1 large sweet onion, olive oil, shredded cheddar cheese. I prefer seriously sharp, but you may go with milder if you wish. You also have mustard, ketchup, Worcestershire sauce. Bacon is optional. I like to add it though. I do like to crisp it up in the oven and put it in. And then you need these egg roll wrappers, and that's everything you need. You also can cook it in peanut oil. I prefer peanut oil, but other people, you may want to use a different light oil. But I like the way peanut oil cooks the best when you fry them up. So that's everything you need. Okay, so the very first thing that you want to do is take your ground beef and break it apart and put it into a large mixing bowl or some kind of larger bowl. Just kind of get the ground beef broken apart with your hands. And then you want to add the salt. I do it by feel, but you can measure it out. The recipe I made calls for 2 teaspoons. I usually feel it out. I always use kosher salt. I like the way kosher salt cooks better. I also do the same thing with my ground pepper. Recipe calls for 1 teaspoon. You can measure it out for whatever works for you. But it's very important when you're cooking that you want to pre-season your meat and you want it to be mixed in. And you want it to sit for a little bit, especially with beef. You want to pre-season it with the salt and pepper and just kind of let it sit and let those flavors get to know each other, as some famous YouTubers like to say. Yeah, that's about it. Just mix them together. All right, next is your onion. One of the things I want to show you is this really cool trick I learned about how to chop an onion up real nice and fine. What you do is you get your really sharp knife, and I'm only using about half this onion this time. So you cut about halfway down. You do thin slices about halfway down. You want to make sure the onion's nice and whole, and you want to just make these nice thin slices with your knife. Once you have that sliced as far as with a bunch of thin slices in one direction, then you go the opposite direction and perpendicular to the lines you just made. Once you've done that, then all you have to do is to get your chopped onion is just kind of slice down it, and there you go. There's your chopped onion trick, and to end up with nice chopped onion for your recipe. So, cool, right? For cheese, I highly recommend Cabot. I prefer Tillamook if I can get it, but Cabot will do. I really like the seriously sharp stuff. I'm just a big fan of sharp cheddar, and one of the things I've been told to get maximum meltage is you want the largest strands possible. I know that's weird, because I would think you would want to do the smallest ones, but every cooking show I've ever watched says shred it as thick as possible to get the best melt. I don't know, but so I'm going to shred the cheese here, and we're going to get ready to have that to mix in. The best part is you spill some, you eat it. As you can see, I have about 1 tablespoon of oil that I have been heating up in a pan, and I'm going to add my onions to it. And I'm going to soften the onions. Shouldn't take too long. Okay, as you can see, my onions have softened. They have kind of gotten a slightly translucent color, and they are ready for me to add the ground beef to. So here's my ground beef mixture from earlier. It's going out of the pot into here. Time to mix that up. When you're cooking the ground beef, you want to make sure that the ground beef has no pink left. It's a little different than, like say if you're trying to make a burger and you want that medium rare, or you want to kind of get rid of all the pink in the ground beef. If you have too much fat left over in your mixture when you're done, it's going to leak out of the egg roll, so you don't want to have too much of that, of the fat not cooked out of your ground beef. As you can see, I've gotten the ground beef to a nice like golden color. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drain off the excess fat, and then I'm going to add the next ingredient. All right, I've drained off the fat. Now I'm going to add the ketchup. About 2 tablespoons of this, which is about all I've got left. So I'm going to just open up my canister and just dump the rest of it in there. You want about a tablespoon of mustard. I like the Engelhofer. That's my favorite. And then you want about 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. All right, and once you have all those in, you want to give them a nice big mix and make sure all the flavors get to know each other. The last thing that I do is I turn the heat off, but I leave it on the griddle, and that's when I add the cheese. As you can see, our pile of cheese here, ready to go, and into the mixture it goes. Sometimes, if I feel like it might be a little bit too hot, I'll pay attention to the melt. If I feel it's too hot, I'll move it off the heat and then mix it up. But looks like we're pretty good here. I didn't have it too hot today. You can see that cheese melting in there nicely. Like I said, the larger you can shred it, the faster it melts. That's what you want. You want a good melt of all your cheese into the mixture, and that's looking really, really good. Last thing I'm going to do is transfer the mixture back into the original bowl. Yes, I cleaned it, don't worry. Doesn't look very appetizing here, but it'll be better once it gets inside the egg rolls. All right, as you can see, I have my Dutch oven here. It's actually a really good idea to not preheat these when you put the oil in. So I'm gonna put in my peanut oil and just let it get up to 350 degrees. You want enough peanut oil that you can cover the spring rolls while they're cooking, okay? So that's about, it's about roughly a quart of cooking oil that you would need to do that. As you can see, I added my bacon into my bowl here, and I'm gonna mix that into the mixture. And now I have bacon cheeseburger spring rolls. Okay, so this next part is while you're waiting for the peanut oil to heat up. It's when you take your egg roll wrappers and you stuff them with the mixture. What you'll need is egg roll wrappers, your mixture, and a little bowl of water. One of the hardest parts about making cheeseburger spring rolls is the actual like folding, and the nice thing is a lot of these companies tell you exactly how to do so, and they put it in the bottom. So if you're having an issue with it, that's what I would recommend. But I'm going to show you how I like to do it. One of the things that I recommend with these is that you use 2 at a time. I like to have 2 egg rolls in my egg roll wrappers in my thing at a time. Put it in a diamond. Set about 2 tablespoons of the mixture just a little bit below center. And you don't want to fill it all the way to the edges, you just want to kind of have about that much. You want to then roll up the bottom. You want to tuck in the sides here. Sometimes they don't like to tuck. And then what you want to do is you want to wet your finger, and you want to wet the upper edge of the envelope, so to speak, and you want to fold it down over top of your egg roll, and you want to get it nice and tight, and you want to put them seam side down on your plate over here to rest, and that's it. Some of you may be asking, why do I use 2? I use 2 because I discovered that through many trials and tribulations. This is my 7th version of this recipe, and I finally got it the way I want it to, and I realized that when I use 2, I end up with a much crispier outside and a very tasty inside with a nice soft kind of like chew to it. And that is how it reminds me the most of the spring rolls from Magic Kingdom. So that's why I use 2. So as you can see, I was able to make 10 of the spring rolls with my mixture. Now, and notice that they're all on the plate seam side down. You do that to kind of let the weight press that seal together so that they don't explode when you put them in the oil. So we're going to take them over there. Okay, we're back over here at the stove. I am a chicken around hot oil, so I will be using tongs to drop them in. You want to make sure you drop them in seam side down, and you're going to put them in for about 3 to 5 minutes total, and you want to flip them about halfway through. So here we go. Don't let it startle you. You can see that one's wrapper popped open right away. That does happen from time to time. You don't want to overcrowd them. I usually do about 3 at a time. I'm hoping that this one doesn't explode, but it is double wrapped, so it should be okay, but I may pull it out. So you're gonna let them cook like that for a little while. I already flipped the one that had the weird wrapper because it's gonna fight me, but I'm gonna flip the other two. They should be fine, and that's why you put them in seam side down. And once they get that nice golden brown color, you are free to take them out. I put them over here on a wire rack with paper towel on it to get some of the excess oil out of them. Kind of drip them off into the thing, and then just set them over here. And then you lather, rinse, repeat, and I'll show it to you when I have them all finished. As you can see, I'm all done. I'm not gonna win any culinary awards with my egg rolls. My wraps did blow out a little bit, but as you can see, I didn't have any loss of innards into the frying oil, and that's a good thing. So I'm gonna plate them up and get ready to serve them, and we'll see what Michelle thinks, because she's been waiting for them and she's hungry. As you can see, they're all ended up out here. I want to give a quick plug to our good friend Jacqueline. She runs an Etsy channel called Spoony Rest. She made us these great coasters that we use on all of our tables. We should check her out. I'll put a link to her Etsy page down in the description. But yeah, Jacqueline made these great coasters for us. And now Michelle, very, very excited to try her cheeseburger spring roll, and we'll get a reaction when she's done.
These are really good. From what I remember, they're very close to the Magic Kingdom, and next time we go, we'll definitely have to check it out now that the cart is apparently open again, so.
As you can see, I'm also enjoying my cheeseburger spring rolls. I like to dip mine in barbecue sauce. It's just what I like to do. I know I'm weird, but Michelle likes hers without sauce. So that's how you make them. They're not gonna win any culinary prizes, but if you really want a taste of the parks, I'll put the recipe down below. Thanks for watching. If you really like this video, give it a good thumbs up. And if you really, really like the video, well, subscribe. And as I always say, I don't like to say goodbye because I'm gonna see you real soon. So, see you, bye. Oh, I'm gonna taste this spring roll.